Today we're going to talk about red flags, and especially the red flags that you are probably ignoring right now when you think about your relationship or your previous relationship. It's something that I've discovered and analyzed with many of my clients. That's why I decided to make this video. Hopefully that will be a wake-up call. Not only a wake-up call to feel like, okay, my partner, my ex is not what I want, but also to regain a form of control, clarity, to help you make the right relationship decisions. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, it's very tempting, but don't blame your partner right away. Just wait for 5 minutes. The point here is to spend a bit of time. Let's spend a bit of time together reflecting on those signs, because they've been there all along. Perhaps your friends told you about them. They tried to speak with you about those things, and you decided not to consider them. So the point is really, and this video particularly, but all of my videos, is really about awareness. What can I learn today watching this video in order for me to improve my life, basically? So it's not only relationship decisions, but it's also about, and we discuss about boundaries, about working models, and so on. So it's not about judgment. Red flag number 1, avoiding difficult conversations. You might be thinking, yes, my avoidant partner, for example. So the thing is, when you start feeling after a few months of relationship that your partner is shying away from those talks, what happens mechanically is that it will build up a form of resentment and distance. You will feel, I'm not heard, he or she doesn't take this relationship seriously, I can't really discuss things that matter to me. The thing is, sometimes we just have to, it's the case for my partner, a bit of hand-holding, of like being non-threatening, being not big thing, because the problem is that the difficult conversations, nobody wants to have difficult conversations. And so if you're dealing with an avoidant, for example, who would more likely sweep the dust underneath the carpet, it's about teaching them, it's about walking them through that process of discussing things and showing them that the outcome of those conversations can be positive and constructive. And so you have to start small, non-threatening thing and make it a habit. The problem is, and I see that every day, people always discuss difficult things, and they always, because it makes sense, they start with the most painful, the thing that, the biggest one, the most difficult one. And from the other end, your partner will be even less likely to discuss those things. So it's finding ways to increase the intensity of those interactions. And so the problem is, sometimes maybe you would argue, yeah, but I've tried small things in the past. Well, you have to try again. Because the problem is that sometimes we have this dynamic where we start addressing a few things, discussing a few things, small. Maybe that person rejects that discussion, and so we build up resentment. And the next time we want to address things, it's bigger, right? And the emotions involved, the resentment involved, are stronger. And therefore, you create basically the dynamic of you against me. Okay? Conflict. You against me won't help you to build healthier relationship. So find ways to start small stuff, and don't let this idea of like, okay, with him or with her, I will never be able to discuss difficult things. Also, you have to understand that a couple, two people together, in a way, it's a bit of a miracle that we're able to form relationships. we have fundamentally two different backgrounds, two different families, two different upbringings, two different personalities. Yes, there are similarities and complementarities and chemistry and stuff like that, but fundamentally we're different. And we have to share most of our time, to agree on most of the things, to work on most of the things together. It's very hard, don't get me wrong. That's why it's important to learn how to have difficult conversations and find partners who are able to have those conversations with you. Red flag number 2 is around control or manipulation. So it's not necessarily narcissistic traits, but it's the idea that the person you're dating has a hard time letting you have some form of freedom, always wants to take the decision because he or she feels safe. The problem is when it happens, you are damaging any form of trust or autonomy. On the first end, we were in the case of I don't want to deal with the difficult things. On this end, it's more of like I want to take care of everything. Both are around how can I feel safe. These are not healthy coping mechanisms. This is not how you build secure relationship, but it's what a lot of people do. So the thing is, you have also to understand that a healthy relationship is about interdependence. So codependency, we depend from each other and we have no life outside of a relationship. That's not healthy. If we are over independent, then there's no relationship. There's no overlap. What you have to develop is interdependence. I have my life, I have my friends, I have my social network, and I have my relationship. And you have your friends, you have etc., etc. But we sort of coexist this way. And we meet up and we can go back and forth, feeling secure that we can have our own life and coming back to our relationship. So it's important to set clear boundaries early on and be very firm with the decisions that will impact either you or your partner. So be aware of that. It's very subtle. Sometimes we feel like, oh yeah, she's jealous, so that's, she cares about me. It could be, it could very quickly turn into something that will damage the relationship. Red flag number 3, lack of emotional support. You are a team. As a team member in a relationship, you need to ensure that you can help and support your partner. And sometimes a lot of people, you'd say male, but sometimes women, they don't know how to emotionally support their partner. And in return, you feel neglected, you feel dismissed, you feel rejected. And when this happens, very often, you start to grow apart. You start to accept this idea that, well, he's not in my team. He's not helping me. I can't rely on him or her. And I will develop this idea that, well, I need to take care of myself on my own. And if I have a problem, I can't speak up. So very quickly, this means so why am I with this person? What can I get from this relationship? Obviously, a relationship is not a trading thing where you have to think of what can I get in return. But to some extent, there's a bit of investment on both sides. Dr. Gottman, who's a very famous relationship therapist, he talks about bids and asks. It's about how can you bid and have a communication and have some sort of a reciprocity throughout the relationship. So if I feel that I need to speak up to something about something, if I feel that I'm sad, if I need I need a shoulder to cry, I want to be able to feel that the partner, the person I date, the person I spend my time with, will be the first person I can rely on. So one thing that you could do is to have honest talks about emotional needs using non-violent communication, I statement. when you come to your partner and you say, I am sad, I feel X, Y, and Z. If your partner cares about you, he or she cannot dismiss that, because they can't say, you shouldn't, that's your emotion. Nobody can argue that, it's not about you shouldn't feel this way. You're feeling sad, you're feeling depressed. So let me spend some time with you to understand about that. So that's how you trigger those kind of conversation. This is not this presentation is not necessarily about that, and you'll see in the description there are a few links if you want to discuss more about, learn about communication. But it's very important to understand this red flag, because you can't have a healthy relationship with someone who doesn't have strong emotional IQ. It's actually emotional Q, so EQ. So observe and own, which is in the RECONNECT framework, is really about how we can look and analyze those red flags. And own, because sometimes it's just okay, you have the red flags, what do you do about that? So it's about taking responsibility. And maybe you're trying to get back with your ex right now, and in the process of analyzing and reflecting, maybe that's not the right decision for you. I can't make that call, I can't decide for you, but it's very important for you to analyze and take some time and be really confident in your decision. It's not about blame, it's not about I should have, could have, it's about okay, now we have these insights. I know more about myself, I'm more confident about the decisions I can make, and I will be able to make those decisions wisely. So when you see those red flags, obviously start a conversation. Don't procrastinate on those things. Set boundaries, and we are doing a lot of interactive workshops with Elizabeth around boundaries, because I think a lot of the people in the community, they want to learn about boundaries. And self-reflection, which is the thing that we discuss in the RECONNECT framework. That's the thing that I work on with my WhatsApp clients. Again, if you want to learn more, if you want to discover this framework, have a look in the description. There are a few links about the RECONNECT. So recognizing the red flags. If you want more videos like this, subscribe, but also if there are red flags that I missed, that you've seen, that you've realized, that you want to share, let me know in the comment section, and I will create a video based on those red flags. Take care.